stability, grip, quietness. Only one tire can satisfy drivers who demand true performance. Advan. Life can be exciting. Yokohama Tire.
Welcome to the Malaysian Motorcycle Grand Prix, and as you can see, it's a huge crowd, a sea of yellow and blue, most of them supporting Valentino Rossi this weekend. Also, we have our local riders, a huge event. Tickets have been sold out. Malaysian MotoGP!
Go Jack! Go Jack! Aku cari, you can do it!
He's been in complete control, man, with Vinales. The checkered flag is out, Vinales is victorious. It's Fabrice Malaysia!
A very good morning to each and every one of you, wherever it is that you're watching us live on the official Facebook page of Sepang Circuit. Mio Adan here together with you, and welcome to the Sepang International Circuit for the round 3, race 1 of the Malaysia Championship Series 2021. We are now at the halfway point. We just finished round 1 and round 2 earlier last month, but now is the penultimate round 3 and round 4, the finale of the year 2021. We want to see who's definitely going to be taking that for the podium and taking that #1 spot at the end of all 4 rounds here at the Sepang International Circuit. One thing about you guys here, if you guys are somewhere around the area, please do come by, because the grandstand area is free for you guys to actually come down and watch the race live throughout today as well as tomorrow. And don't worry, everyone here, we follow all of the SOPs that has been instructed by the government of Malaysia. We maintain our physical distancing, we wear our masks all the time, and we make sure that we follow each and every bit to make sure that we do not contract or spread the virus of COVID-19. And that's all actually on the track. I will definitely be speaking to all the racers who are pushing to get the points at the end of this race as well as tomorrow. But first, let's go to Jeevan in the studio.
Thanks a lot, Mio. Yes, great to be back here for the second half of the Malaysia Championship Series 2021 season. My name is Jeevan Salvanathan, and for today and tomorrow, I will be taking you through that second half of the season. Of course, everyone still, I think, getting to terms and coming to grips with the fact that there has been a Malaysia Championship Series season this year. You can see the cars out on the track already. 18 months they were out of racing. And thanks to the powers that be, and of course the Sepang International Circuit and all the organizers and our partners as well, Yokohama and BH Petrol and KBS, these cars are back on the track, and they've already been out, as I said, for the first half of the season, and what a first half of the season that was. New double-header format, of course. This is not the usual format that Malaysia Championship Series fans across the years, over the last years, would be used to. Usually it's 5 races spread out throughout the year, I think April and May and July, August and September, with the finale being in September. So that was a lot of time, of course, for these teams and drivers to prepare for the next race. But because of the pandemic and the challenging years that we've found, of course, this is the only viable way that we can really get this season up and running, much as it has been for other sports around the world as well. On the screen there, Leona Chin, one of the MTC drivers that's going to be looking to make an impact. I'll be going through all the stories and getting you up to speed with rounds 1 and 2. And of course, if you want to watch those later on, you can. They're all on the official Sepang International Circuit Facebook live stream page here, which you are right now, all archived for you. And what performance it was from some of these teams in race 1 and 2. Double-header format, as I said. So just like today, those round 1 and round 2 featured a race in the morning, and it's just past 10 o'clock in the morning here Malaysian time now. Morning sun, cooling a little bit. And then one in the afternoon. So this afternoon's second race, round 3, race 2, will be around about 3:30 local time, which means once again, these teams are going to have very little turnaround time between this race and that race. And a good example of this was that car that we just saw on the screen, Leona Chin, from Tedco Racing, in round 2, I think it was. Big shunt in race 1, and they had roughly 3 to 4 hours to get that car ductated up, pasted up, and fixed, ready for what turned out to actually be a win in the afternoon race. So lots can happen in the doubleheader format, which has been well received by you guys at home, of course, but of course everybody up at the circuit as well. If you are new to the Malaysia Championship Series, then there are 4 classes of car. Touring production, 2 entrants in touring production. I'll get to that a little bit later on. SB1, Sport Production 1, Sport Production 2, and MTC. A lot of Suzuki Swifts and Honda Jazzes in MTC. And just as an overview, I should say, before I get into the details of it, big fight going on right now at the halfway point of the season in SB2 and MTC as well. So a lot of points to be gained. Standard motor racing points, of course, 15 points for win, 12 for second, 10 for third. Those are the points that really matter. That's the second touring production car that is now in that class. Nisa Racing, back with their Honda Civic. Hanafi Hussein and Kifli Othman in that car, which is going to prove, well, even more of a challenge now for that other car on the other side, on the left side of your screen. That is the Honda Civic of the all-conquering R Engineering HMRT team that over the last 3 years have been winning more and more races, not just in touring production, but in other classes as well. There's a car to look out for as well. That's Shazul Hisham. It should be first with, partnered up with Mohammed Shahrizal Jamaluddin in that Empire M Racing car. That's the car that won in the first race of round 1 and won in round 2 as well. So 2 wins there and looking good. That looks like, is that Ken Urata? No, that's Chao Tek Siong, in fact, on 38 points, just off the leaders in SB1. Good start for Chao today, and 5th on the grid. But let's look back at some of those. November 11th and 12th, so roughly just a month from now. Alef Hamdan Laiwi Singh in that R Engineering team in touring production with the only car entered in that class. So obviously 60 points from 4 races, 4 15-point wins for them, unbeaten there. Now, of course, as I said, facing a bit of a challenge in Hanafi Hussein and Kifli Othman. Be interesting to see what those 2000cc touring production cars can get up to. And for the FD2 Honda Civic Type Rs, that's in SP, oh, well, that's in touring production. But Ken Urata and Shazul Hisham's Empire M both with a win in round 1 and round 2, and as such, pretty much tied up on points as well. In fact, in SP1, it is Abdul Qatir Baran Sim, Shazuli Hisham, and Ken Urata all on 42 points, which is unbelievable. And Chao Tek Siong on 38. There's Leona Chin in Tedco Swift. Leona, of course, in MTC. 2 big wins for her in the first half of the season. So 30 points for her, tied with Danny Chin. Ronnie Risman is currently leading that group with 44 points. And in SB2, that's the other big tied up match, you could say, or tied up race, tied up table. Mitchell Chia and Adi Rahimi on 42 points, and Hayden Heikel with Adam Khalid on 42 points as well. Putra Adam with some great podium finishes in third spot on 34. So that's where we are right now. Of course, 2 races today. That will make up round 3. Round 4, as has been the case with the Malaysia Championship Series in the, in the last 5-6 years, is a special format race. It's a 300-kilometer full endurance, 54-lap race happening tomorrow morning. And that's going to be, of course, double points for that as well. So it's going to be interesting to see whether, if any of these drivers do make a mistake on this side of the final doubleheader weekend, that they can make it up maybe on the doubleheader next weekend. As Mio pointed out, of course, we'll get to more of the race dynamics and what's happening with the permutations and the race as we get into it. Looks like we're about 7 minutes away from the start right now. But once again, as Mio pointed out, you can, if you want to join the action, you want to get out of your daily routine, then you can come up to the Sepang International Circuit, providing you are fully vaccinated, of course, and following nationwide, if not countrywide, if not global SOPs and protocols. So do get yourself, up here with your vaccination status, I should say, and enjoy some of the racing. Or, of course, you can just join us and keep staying with us on this official live stream for the Sepang International Circuit. If you do come up, of course, remember that you are going to need to keep your mask on, remain physically distant, and sanitize your hands, and of course stay away from large gatherings as well. It's what we all do, and it's what can lead to having some safe racing today. Good sunny days up in Malaysia. We'll be back with the start in just a minute.
Okay, Leona, you are back, round 3, race 1. So get ready for all the races and everything. How's your preparations been?
Been back-to-back races for me, and very hectic. Finally, this is the final race for our season, round 3 and round 4. We're excited, and our aim to get the podium and have a safe race.
And it's definitely very tight. If you look at your class here, there's a lot of drivers out there gunning for the overall champion for the Malaysia Championship Series. You definitely are within a shot in getting that first spot. How do you think you're going to do?
Of course, we want the best for everyone. My teammate in front, our plan is to just go as fast as we can and leave the SP2 back gap so that we can have a safe race, because they are really aggressive behind.
All right. Okay, good luck to you, Leona.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Jeevan.
Thanks a lot there, Mio. Leona Chin definitely gunning for some points in the MTC. Also interesting to know that Mark Darwin has joined the MTC class for this round 3. We did say that this could happen. It's been a very intricate process for these teams to get their cars ready and up and running, and in time for this season that was, if you think about it, put together in the space of a couple of months. A lot of racing has happened up at the Sepang International Circuit. Not just the Malaysia Championship Series, of course. In the last 3 months, we've had 2 wheels and 4 wheels out on the circuit. Capri, Toyota Gazoo, MSBK, FIM Mini GP, in addition, of course, to all the other initiatives that the Sepang International Circuit has put up. There was the Personal Electric Vehicle Day on December 3rd, which was a brand new first for the circuit, but also track days. A lot of things that you can do when you come up here if you do get integrated, shall we say, with the Sepang International Circuit. So for a lot of these cars, it's going to be not just about the points and not just about getting back on track for this comeback season, we should say, after 18 months out off racing, where essentially those cars were, they weren't even allowed to practice. It's not just about that. It's also about, as I said, getting the fastest times you can out, and also making sure that your team mechanics, your team dynamics are all going well. The current fastest time that we've seen, 2:28.42 from our engineering over the first half of the season, and we're going to wait and see if that gets up today with the bright sun out at 10 o'clock in the morning. And I think we're going to go down to the grid now for a interview with Mio.
All right, Ali Afnan from our engineering. Looks like you're not alone this time around for TP, so definitely it's going to be a blast down here for race 1 in round 3.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see more competition come up. And right now we have a 2-liter turbo and a 1.5-liter turbo Honda going at it. So it'll be a good action to watch today. So hopefully we can put on a good show for everybody at home.
Uncontested in round 1 and round 2, round 3. Definitely you still want that first place spot, don't you?
Yeah, well, we definitely try to come here and work hard to get first place. And that's what we hopefully try to do.
All right, good luck, Alif.
Thank you.
All right, back to you, Jivan.
Well, Alif Hamdan there, riding in that R Engineering Honda Civic, and as he said, it's pretty much been R&D all the way for the first 4 races, cruising out at the front, great starts, and of course 15 points every time because they were the only entrants. So it will be interesting to see if that yellow and blue car on the other side of the grid now, as you can see, qualified second spot on the grid as well, from Hanafi Hussein and Kifli Othman, very fast driver. Kifli in that car, whether that's going to be a head-to-head race for R Engineering. But as I said, R Engineering, a hugely successful outfit run by one of the famed drivers around here, Lai Wei Singh, who's also partnering Alif Hamdan in that car. But they're running, how many cars today? Let's see, there's Putra Alam's car, there's Leon Ku's car, there's Chatek Xiong's car as well. So that's 4 cars, R Engineering cars, on the grid today. If you think about how difficult it is just to set up one racing car and get that car out, then imagine what it's like to actually manage 4 cars in 3 different classes as well. R Engineering, the success story from the last officially fully run MCS season, which was in 2019. They came out on top, but in addition to that, there was a one-off race in 2020, the Merdeka race, and they also came out on top of that. So by default, they are in fact the current defending champions. It'll be interesting to see what happens today. Now, getting very close to race time. Grid is cleared, which means we should be getting to our formation lap soon. Starters in the box. And they are off for what should be a formation lap of this beautiful FIA Grade 1 track. 5.543 kilometers, 15 corners, and of course noted for those 2 huge 923 or 927, I should say, meter back straight and home straight. Weaving the tires to get a bit of heat in there. They're not going to have to do that for very long with this bright sun. I can tell you track temperatures in Malaysia can get up to 55, 56 degrees on a hot day. Let's have a look at the starting grid right now. There are those 2 TP cars to kick off the grid. Alif Hamdan, Lai Wei Singh in the R Engineering car, and Nisa Racing, Hanafi Hussein and Kifli Othman. Ken Urata and Shazul Hisham, that's going to be a huge battle in row 2. Chao Tek Siong and Fu Young Chia in row 3. Brendan Paul, Leona Chin in row 4. Nurul Husna and Chai Kok Ho in row 5. Chin Hua Lip, that's Danny Chin, and Admi Sharul, his partner, and Yap Yu Neng in row 6. Row 7 sees the leader currently of the MTC table, Ronnie Risman, Saiful Nizam Kamaruddin, next to Eddie Liu. In row 8, Imran Wafi and Naji Ayad, they love to drive. They're going to have a huge fight today. Next to Hayden Heikel and Adam Khalid, who've also, that's going to be a huge row. Mohanjit Singh and Hafiz Bachok in 17th. And Pisa Fan in Wong Jen Sen in 18th. It's a slightly bigger grid today. Mitchell Chen, Adi Rahimi next to Noor Adli, Noor Adi in row 10. Mashlina Buang and Putra Adam share row 11. Row 12 is Leon Ku and Azwan Zulkifli. So that's the grid for today. I think it was 20 cars that started in the first half of the season. Of course, one of those additions is that new touring production car from Nisa Racing. So Nisa now running cars in touring production, in MTC, and in SB2, if I'm right. Yes, that's Hayden Heikel and Adam Khalid. So nice, bright, sunny day. Still no rain affected races yet. There was a smattering of rain between races 3 and 4, but nothing that really affected the track. So we'll look out for that this afternoon. 4 o'clock to see if there's going to be any rain impact, shall we say. And it really is impact because, of course, the huge amount of rain you get up at the Sepang International Circuit means that these cars, especially these road touring chassis cars, well, they do find it a little bit tough. But these drivers, very experienced and very skilled, and that's how far away from rain we actually are. And so wherever you are watching around the world, if you are just joining us now, this is the Malaysia Championship Series, Round 3, Race 1 of the 2021 season. The car's just on the back straight now. We're just seconds away from the mass rolling start that is the starting procedure for each of these Malaysia Championship Series round races. Safety car just leading off. They should all get into formation. That doesn't actually look like it's very tight formation right now. Race control has the ability to call another formation lap if they need to. But we'll wait and see. While the safety car is pulling away. And I think this is it. Lights are red. Welcome back to the Malaysia Championship Series. And with green lights, the Malaysia Championship Series Round 3, Race 1 is a go. And once again, it's a huge start from Alif Hamdan. Official start at 10:30. The two TPs. Two TPs leading through turn 1 and turn 2. All the cars look like they have made a safe enough start. We have seen a couple of, well, starts that were a little bit tight, shall we say. So, as the cars stream away through turn 5, everyone looking and shifting for some position. Remember how significant this third round is for all the cars and all the teams that were middling on points. And of course, this huge battle happening in SP2 right now. Everyone's going to want to have a nice, safe, cautious start. And it looks like that's what they're doing. But it's so great to see these cars streaming through on a very dry, sunny track this morning. So up to turn 9 and 10, still everyone just holding off. And that is the Empire M Racing number 34 car that in this exact position in round 1 was streaming out at the front. That number 34 car would run into some troubles and actually have a DNF in that opening half of the season. Another double-header format done over 2 days. We'll have to wait and see, of course, if the powers that be wish to keep this format or we're going to move to a different format for next year. But as I said, it has been well received by racing fans. That might just be, of course, because there hasn't been much racing going on. But it might also be because it is a great way to just soak up all this action. Now that's some early moves from Ken Rata, which we are not unfamiliar with. He does like to make a bit of a statement in the beginnings of this race. He's being tailed right now. So as they cross the line, it is Alif Hamdan with a blinding 2:28.960. That's still 500 seconds off what we have seen as the fastest lap. That was a great move by Ken Rata. That was Chow Tek Seong at the back. Chow Tek Seong driving solo, as he always does. But this is a different kettle of fish for Alif Hamdan and R Engineering, as they now have another TP car. That one there should be Hanafi Hussein behind the wheel. It's a 1 hour plus leader. That's roughly about 22 laps for these cars. Outputting roughly 220 horsepower, it's about 145 miles an hour down the straight. But really, it's about defending and attacking lines. These guys know exactly how to do that. Now, this looks like it's shaping up into our first battle of the day, and I'm really getting settled into the fact that there are going to be a lot of battles today. So once again, that is Matthew Sin, Ken Murata, Shazul Hisham and Chow Tek Seong. That is first to fourth overall classification, and as you can see, there is about 3 seconds between all of the cars. Just turning up, coming into the back straight now, and looking to build up some kind of window. Now, we've just heard of an incident, our first incident of the day, and that is car number 888 at turn 15. That's this turn. Now, can we see any debris on around this turn? Doesn't look that way. That is Noor Adli. In the number 888 car. Wait to see what determination, and also it looks like it's a clash with Putra Adam. Well, that is one of the cars that we were talking about, which had great podium finishes all season. And what's the cars? And here they are, they're just coming out, and we just might see. Well, it certainly looks like there's no debris on the track, so I don't think we're going to be looking at a full course yellow. Of course, if any of you, and I'm sure you did, saw the culmination of the Formula One over the weekend, that came down to rules around a full course yellow, things that we deal with and things that all motor racing deals with on all different levels. And it's really quite amazing how it came down to certain rules and the way they are discussed, the way they're determined to impact such an outcome. Full course yellow not seen here today because it does look like that incident was cleaned up nicely. Very strict rules, of course, when you do get to full course yellows, and they cannot be debated. So 3 laps in now. And looks like Alif Hamdan is pulling away. It's a 2:27.532. Now, you know what? That actually does log down as the fastest lap. In fact, no, it isn't. 2:26.953 was the fastest lap we saw in the first 2 rounds. So getting close with a 2:27.532, but that's definitely the fastest that we've seen so far. I have a funny feeling that we're going to see a lot more. Very dry and hot conditions up in Sepang. Absolutely perfect for setting fastest laps. That is, now let's get right into it now. It's like Brendan Paul in 7th there. Divish Rajan, both of them obviously were taking part in the recently completed Sepang 1,000 kilometer race. A lot of these drivers, in fact, if not all these drivers, made an appearance. Leona Chin in the end, coming out the overall winner in that race. I'm sure she's very, very proud of. But Brendan Paul has come through the ranks in MCS. Here is our current leader, now completing his 4th lap. And doing very well ahead of this other Honda Civic, which is just holding up by the looks of it. Ken Arata. Ken is looking for a way through. You can always tell he looks like he is. Well, how about that? That's a skirt that's come off and it's dragging away. And if I'm right, that is one of our contender cars as well. That is Hayden Heichel. Ooh, there's the contact. Well, well, well. Lots of niggling problems happening this morning. Mitchell Chia should be in the driving seat. lot of people shifting position as they come in. Leona Chin knows, oh, there's some more contact there. There's yet more skidding out of control, and that looks like it's going to be, well controlled. If that is Hayden Heikel, it should be behind the wheel. That is a really well-controlled piece of driving in a difficult part of the track, and we're seeing it all right now. We're only 4 laps in. So these MCS drivers have literally picked up from where they left off in round 2. They're not going to let any racing line go to waste. I was just saying before that contact, Leona Chin there in the middle of your screen, as well, Hayden Heikel is definitely it's a problem now, because that looks like a full puncture from that contact. Now he's having great trouble trying to just control the car, let alone attack or defend. And we hope he can get that car off somewhere. Oh, look how difficult that is to control. Early drama here up at the Sepang International Circuit, and he's off. He had to go off on that one. Absolutely no way he was gonna keep that going. Well, they say this is why you get trained, and he is of course being trained right now in how to keep this car on. I'll be surprised if he can make it. Now this is going to be really tough. This is actually turning into a bit of a situation for the rest of the drivers, because now there is what looks like smoke and oil coming off the back of that car, and debris as well. He's going to have to take that car and put it off track at some point, or else I think we're heading for a full course yellow just to check the track. That's the important thing. So Hayden should do the right thing and realize that he is now grinding metal on that side of the car. Well, that's big news, and it's bad news for Hayden Heikel. And he was running in 12th. And I just hope that there hasn't been any oil spill, there hasn't been any extra debris. So now, having a look at this NISA Racing Civic that has come in. Just waiting to find out exactly what is going to be happening in these next few laps. Down into 9 and 10, Ken Urata still cannot find a way past that NISA Racing Civic, and is slowly being drawn in by Shazul Hisham and that number 34 Empire M Racing Honda. One of the SP1 leaders, that car, tied, all 3 cars tied on 42 points. Ken Urata also one of the cars, and they've made it into the pits. That's fantastic work. Now, of course, there's usually a pit window. I don't think it's been open yet. No, that's scheduled to open about 9 minutes. So this, of course, this is an emergency pit stop. You have to have it. But I myself, to be honest with you, am really impressed they made it back to the pits. And that pit window will be open for 25 minutes, and all the cars are going to have to come in for their compulsory 3-minute pit stop. That is the only rule, but as we found out with the F1 over the weekend, rules are very, very important. Now, how did the rest of that car do? Well, they've done a pretty good patch job on that car. I bet Hayden is very happy that he can actually control that car again. What a few laps for him, or what a lap for him, I should say, to get back that car back into the pits. They're going to be happy that they're just out on track again. That could have been far worse. And we're thankful that he's managed to get that car out and working. So he managed to get some tape on the front. This is not the start that NISA Racing would have wanted for that car, but let's see what they can do with it. Of course, tomorrow there's a 54-lap endurance race. You'll be able to kind of recover from things like that, possibly out of the running today. 6 laps completed. It's going to have to be a huge drive from him if they can do it. And meanwhile, up at the front, I think that looks like... No, sorry, I thought that was Ken Hirata and Hanafi Hussein. It isn't, that was another Nisa racing car. This is a huge battle that Leona Chin is right in the middle of. She takes the outside line, and who else is involved in that? That's Hugo Chai, Mohanjit Singh, and Mohammed Roni Ristan as well. So Mohanjit Singh is in that yellow Suzuki Swift right in the center. There's Leona just... should be. She is Leona on the side, looking on the outside. In fact, she should own the line coming into turn 1. Looks like an R Engineering car. That should be Putra Adam's car. Number 25. It's settled into second spot in that pack. That's quite an interesting collection that we've got. Quite an interesting little battle that is brewing. Overall, right down in class as well. We can start getting the class positions soon, roughly as soon as we get to the opening of the pit window. We should have a look at it now. So, touring production, Alif Hamdan, of course, leading Hanafi Hussein in SP1. Ken Hirata in the lead, ahead of Shazul Isham by about 3 seconds. Chao Tek Song in third. MTC currently being led by Leona's teammate, Fuyong Chao, Darwin. Brendan Paul in second, Danny Chin in third, Nul Husna in fourth, in class of course, and Ronnie Risman, Hugo Chai and Leona Chin, 5th, 6th and 7th in class. So, bit of work. This is what this battle is right now. That 3-3 cars Mohanjit Singh, the 20 car Ashlina Buang, 46 is Pisao Fan. That is 16th, 17th, 18th and 19th. And now back with Ken Hirata, currently leading SB1, overall third. But this would be a big victory if he can hold the class and hold the position, of course. It is still pretty early. But if Ken can just keep that daylight at the front of his car and at the back of his car, then he should, I should say, be able to take a very good lead from a very tight group. Currently tied, 42 points between him, Tian Sim, and Shazul Hisham. You can't see Barrett Sim and Abdul Katir. There is great performing car, that Honda FT2. They put in, both drivers put in a really great performance in rounds 1 and 2, and they put themselves up in contention. One of the other cars in SB1 that is currently tied on 42 points. So the outcome of this race, round 3, race 1, is going to be very interesting. Developing into quite the race. As we just cross 8 laps. Now the 26-second over Nisa Racing, so that fight not really taking the fight that we thought it would. Young Cha there in the red Tedco Racing car. That's Mark Darwin's going to be taking over from Fu, and that's going to be a very fast drive anyway. So it's a pretty good combination of drivers they've got in there. Currently leading MTC, this car. unsportsmanlike flag. That's the 4th unsportsmanlike flag that we've seen this season. What is going on? I mean, there needs to be some discipline. I think it's probably because I said pent-up driving aggression. So this is that big battle happening. Arjit Singh, currently 6th in SP2, 18th overall, but in a tight battle with Pisa Fad, Marshtina Bong, Putra Adam, Hugo Chai, and into the pits. Now this is interesting because this is also another unscheduled pit stop. There is no reason for this car to be coming in right now. The pit window is not open as of yet. In about a minute. It looks like a stop and go penalty that he's... No, it isn't. He's turning into his paddock, so definitely something wrong with that car. Has come in a bit too early on the pit window. Interesting to see. Well, yeah, they're going to have a look at it, and the bottom's coming up as well. So we suspected some power problems, and we've actually got some. So, wow, this is another huge piece of news, because that is our overall leader, and a car that has been absolutely faultless for the first half of the season is now pulling directly off track. Our engineering and that Honda Civic FC, very slow and definitely off pace and off power. And that looks like it's a complete, even with the pit window opening, it doesn't look like Alif Hamdan is going to be able to get to that pit stop. What has happened to that car? That is tragic. Now, was there any contact? Doesn't look like there was any contact. No, it just ran wide, and it looks like the powertrain just stopped. And very well done by Alif just to keep it on that side of the track, letting all the other cars come through. Absolutely, definitely our first DNF of the day, and what a high-profile DNF it is as well. Alif Hamdan and our engineering, the all-conquering Civic, has ground to a halt, and I hope they can get something done to that car before 4 p.m. today. And he's not looking very happy inside the car as to why or what's happened. Is now overdue on our race computers. Enough you sit there has now taken over the overall lead for Nisa Racing. Just following, and is actually only 3 seconds behind him. So this could be an interesting fight. Ken Hirata, of course, still topping SP1, now into 2nd overall. Zula Sharp is about 6 seconds back from him in SP1. The pit window is now open, so officially those 2 other cars that we saw coming into the pits, well, they were emergency situations that needed to be taken care of. Pit window now open, so all the cars should be coming through, and the positions as we know it will be in flux for about a lap or 2, I would have thought. Still 32 minutes left in this race. down the list as you'd expect. And I'll tell you somebody else that's also disappeared from the list. It's that 23 Motors car. Mitchell Chia and Adi Rahimi look like they are not going to be scoring any points in this round 3 race 1. And that is really significant because they, of course, are also fighting for the championship in SP2. Looks like it's going to be a DNF from them. They are stuck on 5 laps somewhere around the track. I'm guessing it's not in the pit, so that's looks like it's an absolute solid proper DNF. They're going to have to also come back with Alif Hamdan for race 2 later on this afternoon. Leading on the Jazz. Fu Yangcha doing a good job there. And clear track ahead of him and behind him. And good to see Grid Girls back with masks, of course, because it is all about protocols. Lisa Racing. Oh, good to see them back up there. And as I said, if you guys would like to come up and watch some motor racing today and tomorrow for the culmination of the Malaysia Championship Series 21 season, then by all means get up to the grandstands. It's free entrance to the fully vaccinated, but do always maintain your COVID protocols. So social distancing, no large gatherings, sanitize your hands, and of course, as the ladies were just now, wear a mask. So, pit window open, and no surprise to see our current leader, or was at the time leader, coming in, Lisa Racing. That means Ken Urata is now not just SP1 leader, but he's also overall leader. Now that's Adam Khalid, who's getting ready to get in. Remember, he's going to be in that car that has led a very interesting story so far. Hayden Heichel had a blowout, tyre blowout, and managed to nurse that car all the way back to the pits. Looks like that. So, I mean, really, that's helped Mitchell Chia and Adi Rahimi, because it doesn't look like they're scoring either. So the big winner here could be Putra Adam, if Putra Adam can finish. Right now, in class, it's actually Eddie Liu and Imran Wafi, who are going to be looking like they're going to be cleaning up from SP2. So, nice easy driver change there, no great pressure, simply because I said that car is now a little bit off the pace. It's actually on 10 laps, so it's only a lap behind. But I think from the blowout as well, they're probably going to have a look at. I mean, a great finish would be advisable, of course, with so many competitors and contenders not being able to score any points today. Look at a slew of cars coming in. So Ken Urata in the pits, Hanafi Hussein in the pits, Fu Yongcha in the pits, Brendan Paul in the pits, Nur Husna, Nur Adi, Putra Adam, Mashtina Puang, Leona Chin, Yap Yuneng, Hayden Heichel. Well, as we see there, just changing now with Adam Khalid. Adam is just waiting out I think the final minute or so of the compulsory 3 minutes you need to be in the pits. Once again, it is easy to drive a racing car, because you're not actually allowed by the rules to spend more than 40 minutes of every hour driving. That's one of the safety protocols of it, I guess. So these pit stops in the middle of the race do mean that that rule is honored. And let's get down to Mio now, who I believe is actually talking to Hayden Heikel, who just came out of that car.
Hey Brandon, hi, how are you? How was the race just now?
Everything so far is going quite well. I think we made up a position. We were in P1 at the start, but unfortunately we couldn't maintain it. So now we are back in P2, and we're just trying to keep the car going until the end.
Yeah, and how has the racing been? I mean, granted, like you said, you couldn't actually maintain the pace of the race, but it's definitely something you need to make up for in race number 2 later in the afternoon, perhaps.
Yeah, I think we've been losing quite a lot of top speed to the front guys, and other than that, the car felt great. So I think when the race is over, we will do a few changes for race 2.
All right, okay. Thanks a lot, man. Thank you. Back to you.
Well, thanks a lot, Mio. And as always, getting all of our insights from the pits. Some of these drivers that have just finished their stints. Of course, the first thing they want to do is just go through some of those incidences that they've had in the first half of the race. So now, getting into the business end of round 3, race 1. What I did say was a very significant race because of the standings at the halfway point. It's going to be important as to see who is going to be attacking this afternoon before, of course, the all-out battle, which is the 54-lap, 300-kilometer endurance race happening tomorrow morning, Malaysian time. That is the all-out final of the Malaysia Championship Series. Right now, this is our, well, it should be our, with all the drivers in the pit stop right now, that should be our overall leader. Should be Keith Hoffman in that car now. He knows how to drive this track, I can tell you. Multiple MCS winner, rain or shine. Today it is shine. Absolutely under no pressure. Good to see another TP car, touring production car, in that class. Touring production, one of the most keenly fought classes in the last 5 years that this I've been here commentating on the MCS.
All right, I'm now together with Hayden Heikel from Niza Racing. Hayden, eventful 3 minutes into the race of round 3, race 1. Tell us what happened out there.
It was going well. The start was quite bad. We fell back quite far back. We caught back up to, I think it was Mitchell, and then he got past the DNT car. So I was trying to get past the car. I got past him at the back straight, and going up to the last corner, I was already half a car in front of him, and he just hit my rim. So because of that, our rim broke, and we have to pit. I think we lost a lap or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You were racing with a flat rear left tire for at least 2-3 laps out there. That must have been quite of a challenge for you.
It was the worst feeling ever, because we're fighting for the championship, and you do stuff like that. It's not sportsmanlike, So yeah.
Hopefully that you can recover back in round 2, in race 2 later this afternoon.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, okay. Good luck to you, Hayden.
Thank you.
Back to you, Jimin.
There's Hayden Heikel with a good insight as to what's been happening this morning. Again, they're going to have to fight later on this afternoon for round 3, race 2. That was a bit of a blowout that he had to deal with. Wow, that's a very bad incident. Speeding in the pit lane for Leon Koo, Mar Engineering, and once again, that's one of the initiatives I was talking about. If you think you can put a faster snap down up here at the Sepang International Circuit, then by all means, do book online now at www.sepangcircuit.com. Bring your car up here, once in a lifetime chance. Get your car race it around an FI grade Formula 1 track. And also, if you're up here, do check out the Sepang International Kart Circuit. That is an international grade kart circuit as well. Just email to inquiries@sepangcircuit.com. Two things of many things that happen up here at Malaysia's premier racing circuit. That is Ken Urata in the number 55 car. Drives alone, does Ken. That's how we've got to know him anyway. He seems to relish doing that as well. He's 4th overall right now, 2nd in class, because Shazul Hisham, that car is on its out lap, and it should be coming out on top. We're going to have to wait and see. As I said, the positions, track positions, get kind of moved around a little bit. Well, that's a bit off track. Respecting track limits, what it's all about. But looks like that should be Sharizal behind the wheel of that now. And he's really pushing that car to the max. So it looks like on screen that in fact he has, on my timing screen, it says that he's completed 1 lap more than Ken Urata, but we're going to have to wait and see. Currently lapping at 2:44. But a great story for this car. Had a win in round 1, race 1. It was a DNF, and then just a couple of engine problems, but came back strong in round 2. Got another win up there, just to make sure that they have enough points to start attacking the championship. And coming down the back straight now. Nice entry into turn 15. Just under 20 minutes left to go in this opening race of the morning. Nice move on turn 15. And there is Ken Urata and 2 cars between him. And that looks like, is that Eddie Liu? It might just be Eddie Liu. It is. Currently doing very well in SB2, 2nd in class. Imran Wafi now in the pits out lap. So now with most of these cars coming out of their pit laps, we should be able to settle in. It is actually Ken Urata who's up in front, and it is Shazul Hisham in 2nd as suspected. Just the transponders playing a few tricks on the timing computer, but 7 seconds is the gap between 1st and 2nd now overall, and for SB1. This, of course, means if it stays like this for another 18 minutes, that Ken Urata is going to be taking a very slim lead in the SB1 category. Ahead of Shazul Hisham, who will, because Ken, of course, will be getting 15 points, Shazul will be getting 12 points. And right now, no further points for Ken Urata, for Abdul Katir and Baron Sim, who were non-starters for this race. Of course, Chautek Seong is still running, and is actually running in 3rd, about 5-7 seconds away. That was Brendan Paul's teammate there, that's Divyesh Parajan. So we heard from Brendan Paul before. All of these guys looking forward to the afternoon. Hot, it's getting hot out on that track, I can tell you now. But so Divyesh is currently 8th overall and 3rd in class. Now looking at these cars coming through the heat haze, and that's how hot it is getting. That looks like Danny Chin, if I'm right. It should be. Just based on his... It is, in fact. In fact, that might even be Admi Sharul behind the wheel of that car now. That car with a couple of wins already this season. And currently 2nd. Why make that... Wow, there's a lot of changes happening. 3rd in class. Being pressured right now by that number 34 car, looking to get past Chao Tae-seong, as you can see just behind him. That's a huge battle that's happening now, and it even looks like Alif Hamdan is back in the mix, so he should be a few laps back. That's not Alif anymore, of course, because Alif would have come in, so it'd be Lai Wei Sing. Just that interesting part of the race where got to keep an eye on exactly who's driving who. No sudden driving additions that have been put in as strategy. A lot of these teams can get very secretive like that, I can tell you. It looked like Leon Koo. That is Leon Koo, and cleanly being passed by the 2-litre Honda Civic. The inside turn 5. Kifli Othman. Nice, easy black marker take there. Of course, the blue flags would have been out just to make sure that that goes the way it's supposed to go. So lap 15 now of around about 21, and Ken Urata looking good for what would be his 3rd win, if I'm right. He won in race 2 of round 1. And then again in race 1 of round 3. So this would be a 3rd win for Ken if he can pull it off. 8 seconds ahead of Shahrizal Jamaluddin, who is another 4 seconds ahead of Chao Tae-seong. And that is Kifli Othman, who is now leading, of course, touring production. Overall in 4th, but this has not been a good R&D outing for our engineering in touring production this time around. 4 faultless races. There were a couple of electrical problems at the end of race 1, I remember round 1, but apart from that, that car has pretty much been on point, but not today. Big DNFs today. So we should probably make a note of that. Round 3, race 1, DNF. Well, Mitchell Chia for a start. 5 laps in. That's huge. Alif Hamdan back on track, but some 4 laps back. And Ronnie Risman also currently still in the pits, just 11 laps completed. So these are all leaders of their classes, and this is going to be great. A boost for the likes of Leona Chin, who's chasing. Danny Chin, of course, obviously chasing an MTC. Ken Urata is about to streak away right here, this number 55 car, with a very slim lead. Unless, of course, well, what's great is that Chao Tae-seong has actually managed to get past Shahrizal Jamaluddin. It looks like he's actually been in the pits again. So there is something brewing in SP1. I mean, 3 cars left in that race today. That is the leader overall and for the class. There's the 3rd placed Shahrizal Jamaluddin, taking over from another confident drive from his teammate Shazul Isham. Both of them also tied on 42 points as it stands right now, and that's why they would love to catch up to Chao Tae-seong and Ken Urata and get ahead of both of them, because right now it's 10 points that's coming their way, 12 points that's coming to Chao Tae-seong, and a full 15 to Ken Urata. And when they're all tied, well, Tae-seong was about 2 points behind them, but between Ken, number 55 and number 34, both tied on 42 points. So a lot to play for, a lot to race for. And he's just got to hang on for another 10 minutes. I can tell you from the racing that we've seen from Ken Urata in the past, he can do that as well. Now that is not for position. that's just great to see Lai Wei-Sing getting that Honda Civic back on track. You just see how much bigger that car is as well as they come down into turn 1. But that's Chao Tae-seong up into second. This is one of the highest scoring position places so far for Chao. No disrespect to him, he's always been 4th and 5th, 3rd, 4th and 5th, so looking good today. And now looking like he's going to try and push. And that's actually Ken Hirata that's let Lai Wei-Sing unlap himself, which is good. So Lai Wei-Sing up now to 13 laps completed. The car behind him is on 17 laps completed, and that's what it really comes down to in endurance racing, is how many laps ahead, especially if you do get to a full course yellow. I've been very lucky actually not have a full course yellow with the amount of incidents that have been going on. Another one happening right now is a stop and go penalty happening in the pits right now for, in fact, Shahrizad Jamaluddin. So that attack that they wanted to do on Ken Hirata and Chao Tae-seong, that looks like it might be over too, because they're just serving a stop and go penalty now. Who knows for what it was, but it is enough. And that's a new addition today. The Hoffman at number 1 on the Civic. That should be now Alpi Sharul, yes, in that car. Performing pretty well so far, that Swift. 7th, 3rd in class, so that's a good 10 points coming their way. That car had 2 wins to its name, so 30 points coming off the first half of the season. That's a good starting point, I guess, but they'll also be looking for a podium position again later on this afternoon, and of course one for the big double header, or I should say the big endurance race happening tomorrow morning. And we just heard that car number 5 has an engine problem, and that is sad to know. That's Mohammed Ronnie Risman, the current leaders in MTC. They look like they have DNF'd as well. So let's just, with 10 minutes left to go, get an understanding of what's been going on here, because one, in touring production, Alef Hamdan and Lai Wei-Sing are not going to get their 5th win. That looks like it's going to Hanafi Hussein and Kifli Osman, the recently entered touring production car. In SB1, well, Ken Hirata looks like he's going to be pipping the post and getting a nice lead going into the afternoon ahead of Chao Tae-seong and, of course, Shazul Hisham. In MTC, well, things have played into the hands of everyone else, because Mohammed Ronnie Risman, who was leading that class, has just been declared to have an engine problem. In SB2, Mitchell Chia, Adi Rahimi, out of the running from 5 laps onwards, so they're going to have to do a lot of work this afternoon. And of course Hayden Heikel and Adam Khalid with that big blowout early on. That means that the other big championship contender in SB2 is also out of the running. This is played into the hands of Eddie Liu, Imran Wafi in SB2, of course Fuyang Chia, Brendan Paul in MTC. It is a huge development in the Malaysia Championship Series, the evolution of how things are going, and it means that you need to be here this afternoon to find out where the next set of points will be going before that big 300-kilometer, 54-lap endurance race tomorrow morning, which I think, if memory serves, is flagged off around about 11:15. So that looks like SB2. That looks, if I'm right, Eddie Liu. It is Eddie Liu. That should be William Ho now behind the wheel of that car. And that car currently topping SB2 in the absence of Mitchell Chia, Adi Rahimi, Ranjit Singh, of course, Rashidino Boyne as well. All those 3 cars stuck in the pits right now with 5, 8, and 10 laps completed. So this is going to be a hugely welcome 15 points from Eddie Liu if he can hold on from or the SpeedX Racing Team, I should say, if they can hold on for another 6 minutes. Down the back straight. What a hot day it's been, or hot morning I should say it's been, up at the Sepang International Circuit. Hoping for this weather to hold for the afternoon. So that looks like Adam Khalid is going to be cutting it on the inside of Divyesh Braj. He doesn't have anything of it. I don't even know, is that for position? I don't think it is. No, it's not. But still, you can just see some people get a little bit fussy about that racing line. They want it and they've got it. And Divyesh was not going to let that go. That though, not for position. There's a good couple of laps between those two cars. 16th overall for the number 85, 6th in class, and while Divyesh is 6th overall and 2nd in class. The difference is roughly 3 laps. Meanwhile, Chao Tek-seong in 2nd and looking good for that 2nd spot, actually. Nice clear air in front of him and behind him. He's about 34 seconds ahead of 3rd place Mohamed Sharizal and 11 seconds behind Ken Urata. So that is a solid 12 points that looks like it's coming to R Engineering, and that is going to be one thing that they're going to be very happy about. R Engineering looking, they're currently podium in SP1, they're podium in SP2. Unfortunately, they're not going to be, well, they'll be podium for touring production as well, of course, but just not at the top of the podium as they're used to. Taking it nice and easy, just making sure. The last thing you want, of course, is for things to start going wrong about now. Under 5 minutes left to go now in round 3 of race 1. This, our 2nd placed car at the moment. R-Works is the team leading overall and SP1. Just under 5 minutes to go. Ken Urata, we've known a lot about him over the last 5 years. He's always been a great competitor. Stalwart Japanese drivers in the field, well known, well respected, and to be honest, if you do give Ken a lead, then he knows what to do with it. He's absolutely brilliant at defending, he's absolutely brilliant at attacking as well. Not that he has had much attacking to do this time, but what a great performance from him anyway. Nicely on the inside into turn 9. Not long to go for him now. He's on his 19th lap, so I'm guessing probably another lap after this. I'll let you know exactly when it is. Screaming away from Fu Young Chao, currently leading MTC. So that's another lap. From now just 3 cars that are on the 20th lap. That's the top 3. That is Yap Yu Neng. Haven't seen much from Yap. 15th overall right now, 6th in class for MTC. this should be the start of the last lap. I've just been informed by race control. It is 1 hour plus leader, and now we've had that hour. This is the leader, and that would be, yes it is, there you go, confirmation of that last lap. So Ken Urata is heading to a good lead, not the biggest lead in SP1, because Mohammed Shahrizal is still going to finish with points, but a 5-point lead ahead of them. And Chao Tae-seong, of course, with the 12 points, is now going to be in the battle, because he was at 38 points. The other 3 in the group are on 42 points. So he's now on 50 points. And is closing the gap a bit. Still a lot of points this afternoon, and tomorrow, of course, double points for the endurance race. Easy 95% lap from Ken. Knows what he has to do. No point making any big gambles at this stage. You've done enough. The team's done enough with the pit window to make sure you're up there. But really, it's down to individual driver performance. And Ken Urata has pushed the buttons at just the right time. He's now on his final lap for what would be his 3rd win of the season. And if you think about it, there's only 4 races in the first half of the season. There's another 3 really here. That's a great consistent output from him. So coming up to the last corner, last 15 for Ken Urata. What a great win this is going to be for the R-Works team. Pretty much been in the sun for all of the 21 laps he's completed. Well, that looks like some smoke on turn 15. I hope that's not a big problem. Most of the time, well, no, that looks fine. He's come through there. And there is the checkered flag for Ken Urata. Congratulations to R-Works, who take the lead in the SB1 category, and of course winning overall as well. Chao Tae-seong in 2nd. SB1 have ruled the roost once again. And how about this last lap drama? Oh wow, look at that. That NISA Racing Honda Civic is doing what the other Honda Civic did earlier on in the race, which is just start driving noticeably slower. I wonder, that actually might look like it's just a locked gear. They don't seem to be having much other problems. Leona Chin comes through. Very quiet, muted race for Tedco Racing. Leona Chin, 19th overall. 7th in class. That's not really going to help her championship aspirations too much. That's looks like Divyesh Parajun coming through. Yes, it is. And that will be a 6th place finish for Divyesh, or 5th place finish, in fact, for him and Brendan Paul. What an achievement, because we really want to see that Honda Civic get round turn 15, and it's just getting slower and slower and slower. Well, great driver etiquette shown from Keith Leothman, of course, staying off the racing line. Let's see if they can nurse that car through to the finish line. That's what you want to do. There is the winner of MTC. That's Fuyong Chow. Well done to Tedco Racing. In fact, that's Mark Darwin. That's Mark Darwin coming through in there. A welcome return. No checkered flag for NISA Racing. Looks like they're just going to come straight in the pits, finish their race in the pits. It's the same kind of thing that actually happened to that car at the front, but that's come through a bit better now. And checkered flag to everyone so far. we're going to do is So, as it stands, and we'll confirm these, of course, in just a second, but Ken Urata, Chow Taek-seong, Shazul Hisham, and Mohamed Sharizal, SP1, top 3 and overall top 3. MTC top 3, Fu Young-chan, Mark Darwin, Brendan Paul, Divyesh Parajun, and Danny Chin, Admi Sherrill do get that podium, the top 3. SP2, it is Eddie Liu, Putra Adam, and Imran Wafi for the top 3. And in SP1, well, we went through that. Touring production, it is in the end. Nisa Racing, if they can make it, and I think they did. They're in the pits right now. So it'll be this car that had troubles at the beginning. It's been faultless for 4 races up to now. And looks like everybody has now made it either to the finish line or the pit lane, and that's how we have to describe it as well, because wow, what a race it's been. Round 3, race 1. Start of the second half of the season. There's confirmation of the results in SP1. What a win for Ken Urata, 3rd win of the season. Chow Taek-seong with a great 2nd, and Shazul Hisham and Sharizal Jamaluddin keeping their title alive with a podium position there. In S Production 2, Eddie Liu, Putra Adam, and Imran Wafi all benefit from the DNFs of some of the other drivers, but they take the top 3. Noor Adi in 4th, Pisao Fan, Ian Wong in 5th. Hayden Heikel and Adam Khalid do manage to make it to 6th, even though it's a lap behind. Azwin Zulkufli and Sharina in 7th. Leon Koo in 8th. Martina Boang in 9th. Manjit Singh and Hafiz Bachok in 10th. Mitchell Chan, Adi Rahimi with the big DNF there. Look at that, 16 laps completed. They were championship leaders. And now, of course, they're going to have to do a lot this afternoon. And MTC, another class that was put on top of its head. Mark Darwin returning to the MCS with a win with Fu Young-cha. Brendan Paul and Divyesh Parajun with a great 2nd. Danny Chin and Admi Sharul with another podium to add to their 2 wins from round 1. Nurul Husna, Nasri Said in 4th. Chai Kok Ho and Chu Sin in 5th. Yap Yuneng in 6th. Leona Chin with a 7th finish with Kina Teo. And Ronnie Risman and Saiful Nizam Kamarudin in 8th. They were championship leaders going into this race. And that's the touring production class. And how about that? The win streak is broken with the new entrant, Kifli Othman and Hafio Sin, coming in just about. They were limping all the way to the end of the race. Let's have a look back now at what was a pretty fantastic morning of racing at MCS that has again just tipped everything on its head. And very sunny day today. This was the new entrant to touring production. Everyone was back on the grid. Everyone was up and ready for the second half of the season. And when the start happened, it was great to see so many cars cleanly getting away. This was some big contact, though, for Hayden Heikel, and it would lead to a lot of extra problems for him. Well controlled, but lost a tire. And look at the troubles he had trying to get that car, with all that damage, back to the pits. They would get it up and running again, but they would, of course, be off the pack a bit. This was the MTC fight that was happening throughout the entire race, but what in the end would see Fu Young-cha and Mark Darwin come through. Ken Urata and Shazul Hisham, they picked up their fight from where it was in the first half of the season. Chow Taek-seong also getting in on that fight. That was the big moment when the car that has ruled the roost in touring production suddenly lost all of its power and couldn't even make it back to the pit. So that was a DNF for Alif Hamdan. This was Adam Khalid who took over from Hayden Heikel. Easy driver change there because they were already off the pace. That was our new leader in MTC, Fu Young-cha, who would hand it off to Mark Darwin, who would then deliver the win This was our SP1 and overall winner halfway through the race onwards. What a solid drive from not only Ken Urata, but Chow Tek Seong in that number 11 R Engineering car as well. Eddie Liu was the big winner in MTC because of the likes of Ronnie Risman and Leona Chin now coming off the pace. So it's all set up nicely for the afternoon. And that was the eventual winner of Touring Production, but didn't actually make it to the line because, well, a lot of cars were having some troubles with their powertrains today.
Run towards your dream, because the moment you stop running, the moment you stop fighting, is the day you will lose it. That dream is not going to wait and say, take a breather. It's going to say, come catch me. Catch me if you can.
Yokohama.
Welcome to the Sepang International Circuit, and of course this is the Shell Malaysia Motorcycle Grand Prix. As you can see, people are starting to walk into the welcome center. We have about 100 over vendors here today. It's going to be an awesome weekend here at Sepang Circuit.
Okay guys, hari ni keadaan sini semua meriah saya tengok dan saya doakan yang terbaik untuk semua pemba, termasuk Malaysia, ada Rodin, Ki, Syarin dan semua-semua yang terlibat lah.
Malaysia の皆さん、日本から来ました。MotoGP楽しんでます。イエーイ。
Stability, grip, quietness. Only one tire can satisfy drivers who demand true performance. Advan. Life can be exciting. Yokohama Tire.
Welcome to the Malaysian Motorcycle Grand Prix, and as you can see, it's a huge crowd, a sea of yellow and blue, most of them supporting Valentino Rossi this weekend. Also, we have our local riders, a huge event. Tickets have been sold out. Malaysian MotoGP! Go Jack!
Go Jack! Aku Syarin, you can do it!
Control by Vinales. The checkered flag is out, and Vinales is victorious. It's Malaysia Malaysia. Run towards your dream, because the moment you stop running, the moment you stop fighting, is the day you will lose it. That dream is not going to wait and say, take a breather. It's going to say, come catch me. Catch me if you can.
Yokohama.
Run towards your dream, because the moment you stop running, the moment you stop fighting, is the day you will lose it. That dream is not going to wait and say, take a breather. It's going to say, come catch me. Catch me if you can.
Yokohama.
Welcome to the Sepang International Circuit, and of course this is the Shell Malaysia Motorcycle Grand Prix. As you can see, people are starting to walk into the welcome center. We have about 100 over vendors here today. It's going to be an awesome weekend here at Sepang Circuit.
Okay guys, hari ni keadaan sini sungguh meriah saya tengok dan saya doakan yang terbaik semua pelumba termasuk Malaysia, ada Rodin, Ki, Syarin dan semua-semua yang terlibat lah.
マレーシアの皆さん、元 GP、日本から来ました。元 GP 楽しんでます。イエーイ。
Stability, grip, quietness. Only one tire can satisfy drivers who demand true performance. Advan. Life can be exciting. Yokohama Tire.
Welcome back to the official live stream of the Sepang International Circuit, where we have just concluded the Malaysia Championship Series Round 3, Race 1 in the morning, part of the second half of the double-header season. Of course, compacted season because of the pandemic year. Great to have racing back up here, of course. And what we saw in the first half of the season was a lot of the 4 categories in Malaysia Championship Series all tied up. One of the most intricate kind of tie-ups, I guess you could say, was in SP2. But now, with round 3, race 1, I did say this race would be significant, and it was significant because now, well, the tables have been opened up a little bit with the DNF of Mitchell Chan, Adi Rahimi. I think that was a big, big shock for a lot of people. But also, Ronnie Risman and Saiful Nizam Kamarudin in MTC. That was a huge DNF to also have. So that's opened up both of those classes. Nisa Racing with a successful entry into the touring production class. They're coming out on top. And of course, in addition to that, Eddie Liu and William Ho from SpeedX Racing Team getting the win in SP2, which means they're going to do their championship hopes. Absolutely no problems at all. We're just getting ready for the podium presentation for round 3, race 1. Don't forget, of course, round 3, race 2 will be later on this afternoon, about 3:30 Malaysian time. Do join us for that. Hopefully the weather is going to stay with us. It's been beautifully sunny weather this morning, if not a little bit hot. But still no rain has affected the Malaysia Championship Series. And before we get to the podium, of course, just a big shout out and thanks to our partners, Yokohama Tires, BH Petrol, KBS. They support a KBS as well to get all of these cars and races are now all in Parc Fermé, waiting for scrutineering, I should say, and a technical overview. You still can come up, of course, to the races. Fully vaccinated allowed, full SOPs and protocols. Wear a mask, sanitize your hands, don't get into big gatherings and socially distance yourself. If you can do that, then come up and enjoy the racing today and tomorrow. Today, of course, round 3, race 2 later on this afternoon. But then the endurance, 300-kilometer endurance, 52-lap race, 54-lap race happening tomorrow morning. So as we wait for that podium to come up. Quite the race indeed. And I will have all of the championship permutations ready for you, but I can tell you now, Ken Urata for sure is now just ahead by a few points in SP1. And with no points finishes, in fact, I think it should be Hayden Heikel and Adam Khalid. By finishing 6th in class, they should get enough points to push them ahead in SP2. And in MTC, well, there'll be some points around for sure. It's just a question of where they go. I know that Leona Chin and Kina Teo, they were looking for more than a 7th in class today, that's for sure. And of course, Mohamed Ronnie Risman and Saiful Nizam Kamarudin definitely looking for more than an 8th in class. So really has opened up the category for the likes of Mark Darwin, Brendan Paul, Danny Chin. All three of them on the podium. I think we're just about ready to get to that podium now.
Series 2021, round 3.
And we'll be starting with SB2.
We will start with the S Production 2 category. Please welcome all the winners to the podium. In 3rd place, car number 25, R Engineering HMRT, Putra Adam. Second place, car number 60, DNT Tune, Imran Wafi Adnan and Naji Ayat.
Imran Wafi, Naji Ayad.
And the winner for the SB2
solid performance again from them.
Car number 98, SpeedX Racing Team, Eddie Liu Kawai and Ho William.
And these were the big winners from SB2, Eddie Liu and William Ho.
And now it is my honor to invite Mr. Jason Chow, Assistant Sales Manager, YHI Marketing Malaysia, to join the winners for a group photo.
This should be the SP1
And now,
trophy
ladies and
presentation.
gentlemen, for the S Production 1 category, please welcome all the winners to the podium. In 3rd place, car number 34, Shazul Hisham and Muhammad Shah Rizal Jamaluddin.
So these were guys that managed to rescue something from their race. Wasn't going so well, that number 34 car, but still managed to pull a podium out of it.
Car number
That's good for the
11,
championship.
R Engineering HMRT, Chiao Tek Song.
Chao Tek Siong. Means
And the
a
winner
good performance for our engineering to get
SB1
second spot
category,
TP. Sorry,
car
MTC.
number 55, R-Works Ken Urata.
SB1, I should say. And there is Ken Urata. Another huge performance from him. 3rd win of the season.
Once again, we would like to invite Mr. Jason Chow for a group photo with all our winners.
Touring production and MTC
Ladies
still
and
to
gentlemen,
come.
now is the Malaysian Touring Car category. Please welcome all the winners to the
We're
podium.
going to be starting with
In
MTC.
3rd place, car number 99, Chin Hualib and Admi Sharol.
There's Danny Chin and Admi Sharol. It's a very important 3rd spot for them. 2 wins in the first half of the season. Start with a podium
Brandon
in the
Paul
second half.
and Dilvish Parajun.
Brendan Paul and Divyesh
And the
Parajun.
winner for the MTC
Solid outing from both of them.
category, car number 15, Tenko Racing, Fu Yun-chie and Mark Darwin.
And for Young Cha and Mark Darwin. And it's good to see Mark Darwin back on an MCS podium. Didn't see him in the first half of the season. See him a little bit for S1K.
The winners. And now is the
Here's
touring
our
car
last trophy
touring
presentation.
production category. Please welcome the winner to the podium, car number 72, R Engineering HMRT, Alif Hamdan. And once again, Mr. Jason Chow together with the winner.
Alif Hamdan and Lai Wee Singh. And they have been sitting on top of the podium. And I'm guessing that's because Hanafi Hussein and Kifli Othman never actually finished by going into the pit.
Congratulations to the winner for the touring production, and thank you once
Now that
again
is
to Mr. Jason
tragic,
Chow.
but again, there are rules, but I don't think they finished because they entered the pits. And now let's hear from some of these drivers as they are with Mio.
All right, Ken, it's basically like nothing ever happened since last month. We were together for round 1 and 2. Round 3, podium number 1. How does it feel?
Yeah, really happy to come back again, this podium. Yeah, it was overtook by 34 car in the first lap, but I'm looking for the opportunity to overtake the car. Luckily, first lap, T15, I overtook 34. We're confident to overtake with our brake. Brake is, Dick says, so good. Yeah.
Okay, for whatever it is, congratulations and get ready for round 2 later this afternoon. Congrats again.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, guys, new week, new month actually. Round 3, race 1, finally getting on that podium, hitting that number 1 spot. So how does it feel?
Yeah, it feels good, especially coming back from this COVID and all this MCO and all. It's good to be back racing, and yeah, it's obviously good to be on the podium.
And what about this afternoon in race number 2 for round 3? Do you think there's going to be any change in tactics, or is this going to be pedal to the metal and just go on with it?
I think we should be pedal to the metal. So it's a 1 hour race, so hopefully we cross the check effect without any issues.
Okay, congratulations, Jess, and good luck for race 2 later. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Eddie and William getting first spot, missing out on last month, but round 3, race number 1, you're definitely making a mark down here in getting that podium. How does it feel to be back?
Yeah, I feel excited and thankful to the team that gave us a great car because we've been struggling for round 1 and round 2. So hopefully we are in the championship fighting now for tomorrow and the endurance race.
And definitely a lot more points that is up for grabs. Definitely there's something that you are striving for. Obviously you want to maintain this momentum moving forward.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
We are looking forward for tomorrow and later the race 2. Yeah.
All right. Congratulations, guys, and good luck for this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Alif, this is becoming a bit of a deja vu, isn't it? You've been up here every single time. Even with a bit of a competition today, you still managed to actually get a number 1 podium today. So it must be good, right?
Well, to be honest with you guys, it was really lucky. I don't know if you noticed halfway through the race, the car was literally stopped for 7 to 6 minutes before someone towed us back. Halfway through the race, one of the O2 sensors decided to go on holiday, so we had to go back in the pits and replace it. And alhamdulillah, after that, everything went well. But yeah, the conditions was tough. The car was plagued with a little bit of understeer, but we managed to get through. I'm not sure what happened at the end, and somehow we won. I'm really wasn't sure what happened, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely, and we hope that lucks, will prolong to round 2, but more skills on your side, obviously. Congratulations, man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, guys, that's it from me for this morning session. There's definitely going to be plenty of more races happening in the afternoon session for race 2 in round 3 at the Malaysia Championship Series. Back to you, Jivan.
Thanks a lot, Mio. Thanks to everyone for watching. As he said, yes, there is going to be another race this afternoon. We're going to be on air from just after 3 p.m. Malaysia time, so set your calendars for that. Round 3, race 2. A lot more stories to tell in the Malaysia Championship Series before we get to the finale round tomorrow. For now, we're going to be off air, but we will be back, as I said, at about 3 p.m. this afternoon. You guys take care.